I'm a member of Townhead Church in Newmilns, and I'd like to talk to you about how I became a Christian and some of the things that God has done in my life. So I became a Christian when I was 13, and it was really through my secondary school where I had started going along to a scripture union group, and also I had received one of these, which you might recognise, a New Testament from the Gideon Society as they were known then. And when I was given this New Testament, I brought it home and I started to read it. And it was a real revelation to me that God would speak to me personally through the Bible. I just hadn't realised before that could happen. So as a result, I really believed that Jesus had come to earth, had died, had been resurrected, and that he had done that for me. So I became a Christian when I was 13. And God has continued to use the Bible to speak to me right throughout my Christian life. Eventually I met my husband Gavin. We got married and we moved to the valley. And shortly after that we decided to start a family. I, after a wee while, fell pregnant, and there was great joy, as you can imagine. There always is great joy, but this was the first grandchild on both sides, so both sets of grandparents were really, really excited, and obviously so were Gavin and I. But at 12 weeks I had a miscarriage, and that was a really awful experience for me. I felt a real grief and a darkness there that I hadn't felt before, and I really struggled to express it or to get out of it. And I ended up going back to a verse that I had first come across and made a note of when I first became a Christian, way back when I was 13, and that was a verse in 1 Peter chapter 1, and it's verse 3, and it's talking about God, and it says, "In his great mercy he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead." And I realised then that no matter what happened to me, Jesus' death and subsequent resurrection meant that I had a living hope, even through my sadness at what had happened to me. I had a hope for my future in Jesus that I could hold on to and that I knew would never let me down. Now since then, God has just blessed me and Gavin enormously. And I've also gone through other times of grief and of sadness and of depression. But I know I can always come back to that verse, and I know that because Jesus lives, because Jesus is alive today, I can have hope in the future. Hope for the future that he has ready for me. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.
This is my testimony, from death to life.